Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to another Hop, Skip, and a Dream travel podcast, episode number 3. Today we are going to be talking more about cruising, but not Disney Cruise Line specifically. Well, let's get over to the intro. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode number 3 of the Hop, Skip, and Dream Travel Podcast. Today, your host, myself, Jay, will be discussing the cruise industry getting started back up. The CDC has released information that they are going to be be allowing big ship cruising from U.S. ports starting later this June. Now, this is from a blog. Take it for what it's worth. But I think that it is important news for us to discuss here on a travel YouTube channel and podcast, and that we need to understand what's going on. So, with that, let's go over to the website, The Points Guy, and we'll check it out. So here we go. All right. So you can see this is from just 4 days ago, the 27th, I think is what it was. CDC to allow big ship cruising from U.S. ports to restart in June. And starts off, the return of big ship cruising out of the U.S. ports is finally at hand. The U.S. CDC has late Wednesday cleared Celebrity Cruises to restart sailings from Fort Lauderdale with a single ship, the 2,908-passenger Celebrity Edge, on June 26th. The vessel will be the first big ship to sail from a U.S. port in more than 15 months. The Celebrity president and CEO, Lisa Lutoff-Perlo, posted this on her Twitter. Celebrity will require that all U.S. passengers over the age of 16 be fully vaccinated for COVID-19 to sail on the Celebrity Edge. The age cutoff will drop to 12 on August 1st. Celebrity plans to operate the Edge with at least 95% passengers vaccinated for COVID-19. As a result, the CDC will not require the ship to undergo simulated test cruises before resuming operations with paying passengers. So what does that mean for us? Well, that means that for most cruises, if this works out and comes back as a success, we will be able to start seeing ships that operate with vaccinated passengers of 95% capacity vaccinated. We'll be able to go on cruises again. I really love this idea because I just booked a couple cruises myself on board the Disney Wish for my wife and I. So it'll be fun. And by then, obviously, by the time the Wish launches, I'm pretty sure we will be back to, if not normal cruising, modified normal. That is to say that, face mask optional where you're walking around, or the bare minimum when you're in a congregated area, standing still with a bunch of people, like you would at a ride at Disneyland or Disney World, that type of thing. I know that recently it was announced that Universal Studios Orlando has lifted their face mask requirements. I haven't confirmed this yet. I'm still digging into that. But with that, I hope to see Disney doing it as well. Now, Disney is a bigger brand worldwide, so that might be why they're being slow on the uptake. And just because Celebrity does it, it doesn't mean that they are going to allow people to be maskless either. So when it returns to service, the Celebrity Edge, and let me switch back over that. When it returns, the Celebrity Edge will be sailing alternately 7-night Eastern Western cruises out of Western Caribbean cruises out of Fort Lauderdale. The 2-year-old ship will be under the command of Kate McHugh and will be the first American female captain of a major cruise ship and a social media star. Major milestone, the CDC's clearance of the Celebrity Edge to resume sailings out of U.S. ports is a major milestone in the cruise industry's multi-month attempt to return to normalcy. Cruises from U.S. ports account for a significant percentage of all cruises worldwide. While we have seen a few cruise ships resume operations in Europe, other destinations around the world since last summer, most of the hundreds of vessels that are operated by major cruise lines around the world have been out of service since COVID-19 outbreak was declared a pandemic in March of 2020. The CDC has blocked all but the smallest cruise ships from operating in U.S. waters since that month due to worries about the spread of COVID on ships. And it's not an unwarranted thing. You can have disease run rampant on a cruise ship because it is an isolated atmosphere. Even though it's open air in many spaces, there's still the potential of somebody catching a bug and spreading it around the rest of the ship. I know this because it's happened to me in the Navy. Being on a submarine where you are literally isolated makes the concern for, how do I want to put this? The concern that the cruise industry has for pandemics and outbreaks, as well as the concerns of the people, is warranted and justified. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. However, as somebody who has cruised and not gotten sick before, I don't think that there's really much to worry about with the way that the cruise lines operate. Yes, you will have that, 1 in a million. I mean, you're looking at hundreds of vessels, and millions of passengers every day on cruise ships once you're back to normal operations. It's not surprising that somebody comes aboard not realizing that carrying something a few days later feel like garbage. And you can try and contain it as best as you can, but it doesn't mean that it won't happen. Now, yes, this is not what you want to hear when you're trying to tell people to actually be calm and discuss appropriately, all this stuff. But at the same time, we should also, how do I want to put this? We shouldn't be afraid. If you're vaccinated, you're more likely, if anything, going to be an asymptomatic carrier, and you won't feel much, if anything. I got my full vaccination in April, and yeah, I had COVID before, so it made it a little bit more rough on me for the vaccines, but I would rather have been vaccinated or had the ability to be vaccinated earlier before I caught COVID than to actually catch COVID on a cruise ship or something. So I would much rather be able to prove that I've been COVID vaccinated and I can go on a cruise ship with bare minimum 95% of everybody else being vaccinated on board the ship. So let's see, is there any talk about any other? Several cruise lines, including Celebrity, already announced their plans to restart cruising in North America in the coming weeks from ports located outside of the U.S. where they don't need CDC approval. Celebrity will resume Caribbean cruises on June 5th with one ship sailing of the Dutch side of the island of St. Martin, also known as St. Martin. The sister line, Royal Caribbean, will resume Caribbean cruises on June 12th with one ship sailing out of Nassau. Other cruise lines announced plans to start up their sailings in North America from non-U.S. ports in the coming months, including Crystal Norwegian. For now, the CDC has only approved the Celebrity Edge to sail from the U.S. port. But the cruise industry executives in recent days have said that they expect approvals on more ships soon. And then it goes into how And to be honest, these are probably good. Oh, I didn't even realize I didn't switch it. As you can see, I basically read it from here down. But basically, these links down here, if you take the time to go click the link in the description down below, yeah, these are pretty good things. But what I don't see here and what I think needs to be discussed is, what about using a travel agent? And yes, I am a travel agent. This is a YouTube video channel for my travel agency, for my own personal vlogging and showing you places I've been to, places that I'm able to sell, things like that. However, while I do want to promote my services, I don't want you to think that that's solely what this is about. Only you can decide whether or not you want to use a travel agent. I highly recommend it. I would recommend myself, or depending on what the situation is, other people. But with that said, only you can make that decision. And it's really no extra cost to you in most cases, especially if you get if you go to a website called ASTA, ASTA. It's an association of travel agents, and there we are, we're vetted as agents from either our own businesses, like if I work as a standalone, through a host agency, etc., and work my way. You get what I'm trying to say. Anyways, the last thing that I want to read, and it's just the last paragraph here, and I totally didn't mean to switch the scene, but to be allowed to restart, cruise lines must prove that to the CDC that they have new health and safety protocols in place on ships designed to prevent outbreaks of COVID-19 and to manage an outbreak should one occur. And that's basically taking, for some of these cruise lines that are partnered with other places like Universal, Disneyland, etc., they have to figure out a way to take the health and safety protocols from land-based travel to make it work on a cruise line. And it's plausible, but again, you have to know when it starts and what happens. I mean, worst case scenario is that these cruise lines don't get approval from the CDC and they only sail out of their, non-US ports. That'll be rough for the US economy. That'll be rough on, everybody's economy, because I don't think the CDC is going to want to allow people to travel abroad, even though they've announced that fully vaccinated people can, when there's a potential for somebody to come back with COVID. So with all of that, I think that we are going to wrap this one up for the vlog and podcast tonight. I just want to say thank you again for watching. Like, subscribe, follow, do all that fun stuff. Spread the word. A view, a click on the like button, even a share, a tweet out of the videos, or even the podcast from the platforms that we're on, helps us grow as a channel. I'm not doing these channels to make money off of them. I'm doing this to provide information as well as to show you the types of fun that can be had, So keep that in mind. If you want to travel, go to hopskippingadream.com, hit the contact page or about page and contact me and I can help set you up. Or you can email me at j@hopskippingadream.com, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. So with that, I think we will say adieu for now. Have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend, if you're not already, and look forward to cruising again soon. hopefully, and one last housekeeping note. Hopefully soon I will be able to get my wife to join me on these, and we will have some fun discussing topics. So, with that, peace, have fun.